Hello everyone and welcome to the Crescendo Way pre-match conversation versus Chester. We're live, it's Tuesday, well we're not live, it's pre-recorded. So, Mucky, how are we feeling? It's a cold night.
Yeah, it's just confidence, isn't it? It's take on the last two games, isn't it? You've got to be confident in it. But I'm expecting a tough game. I know they got beat 3-0 on Saturday, but they're going to come here and they want a response, and obviously they brought a few fans as well. So I think it's going to be a tough game. But
yeah, it's a sold out away end tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I imagine as well that some of the fans. I've got no change on me at the moment. But it's the joys of doing live streaming. This is what we get. Remember your 50-50 money for next time. Yeah, it says that you'd be expecting a response tonight because there's, I say the loss was 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 Peterborough.
Yeah, so there's no way that we're going to come here and take down. They've got a sold out crowd. I imagine as well there'll be a few Chester fans in the Marine end as well.
Yeah, could be.
There's one thing for Chester, and they have an amazing following.
They do, yeah.
Really do have an amazing away following.
Yeah, I mean, when you went to playoffs of the final against Scunthorpe, I think they took over 1,200, 1,300, something like that. So they've got brilliant support for them. Like, you got to give them that.
Yeah.
So, they're fragile at the moment, though, aren't they? You look at them and they are fragile. They brought Bobby Jones in, haven't they? He's a good keeper, but it's probably is a good time to play them, isn't it? Probably case today will probably get beaten now, but when you look here, you can get at them, can't you? So
that's the thing. This is a very front-footed team, so it will be a case of getting at them, and there's a belief in the squad. We were talking about the last podcast, which you can watch on YouTube. We were talking about Chester and saying about how Marine going in possibly the favourites. I mean, do we still hold that belief, or maybe that belief dwindled a little bit?
I don't know. I think with the injury, I think it's probably 50-50 games, to be honest. I think last season, if you looked at it, when we went into both them games, we were massive underdogs in there, whereas I feel this season, we're just as good as they are, do you know what I mean? I know they're not doing great, but as I said last night, I think they'll be more worried about coming to us than we are playing them, really.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that, certainly from the manager's perspective as well, Chester's manager, there's a lot of pressure on him right now. Chester fans are very vocal, made it very clear what their thoughts are, and this has been a theme throughout the season. This happened when Marine played Chester earlier on in the season as well. It was almost a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
They got the equaliser right at the end. And whilst in the midst of the jubilation, you still heard the groans in you. There was definitely disapproval of the fans. And here's Tim now. How are you, Tim? Good to see you. So it's definitely audible groans in that 1-1 draw at Chester.
Well, he's a victim of his own success, isn't he? Obviously getting into the playoff final, nearly winning the league. So
they're very close.
The expectations. The problem with
really good. Sorry, how are you? Welcome to the Crescendo Way Live. We're joined by a myriad of guests. So it's just looking forward to Chester. Your thoughts, sorry, I've got the microphone here if you want to share. Your thoughts with today, a Marine going in as favourites, or
I would suggest.
Let me bring it into shot.
Sorry, I would suggest that they probably are. Yeah, just because we're on a really good run of form at the minute, playing good, exciting football.
Yeah, that's it.
Looking forward to it.
I agree with a lot of 50-50. If you ask me in 5 minutes' time, I'm sure my opinion will change again.
Totally. But it'd be good to get one over on the local neighbours anyway.
It is, and especially with being so close in that first game early on the season.
Yeah.
Just touching on it a few moments ago. Came close, leading 1-0, the last injury time. I think there's more in this game. Could there be more goals if this time around?
Maybe, but I think we've got a bit of good momentum. I think with the cup game at the weekend, you want to just keep that momentum going. So
you'll probably hear that audio. That's Michael's little boy on the microphone. Michael doesn't realise that 2 microphones mean 2 lots of audio. Bobby's joining us now as well. Hello, Bobby. Now, fortunately, I don't. Yeah. Please come into shot. Please come into shot. Yeah. He's coming into shot. This is how we do live footage. So, Bobby, good afternoon, Bobby. So, coming into the game, just asked Toddy there his thoughts. Marine coming into this as the favourites tonight.
I'd have to say you would be. I mean, you can't really discount Chester at all, can you? Because they're always a good team. And, even though they're having a bit of a difficult season, as you've shown with us, when the chips are down, we tend to play our best. So 4 players on the bench, time to shine. So
that's a lot of pressure on the Manchester manager as well. Could anything less than a win for them today, could that be the death now?
He's a good man, Cal, to be fair. So it's sad to see them actually going for a bit of a bad spell. But it might be the case, yeah. So
I think the interesting point with their manager is when we were in the hunt for a manager at the start of the season, there was quite a few people who kind of tipped McIntyre and thought he'd do a decent job for us here. So I'm kind of with Bobby on this. I think he's a really decent manager. It's a shame that they're struggling a little bit, but I think if they stick with him, he'll see them through, definitely.
As it was mentioned before, McIntyre being a victim of his own success with the great season Chester had last year. I know we're a Marine podcast, I don't want to sound too Chester centric, but I think it's Chester a great study case of how flying too close to the sun sometimes. But I mean, Chester, they're more than equipped to go up.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Thinking of the quality that's in that league above, it kind of feels like us in the National League. It's similar to when teams make that step from the Championship to the Premier League. Just that gap between those two leagues is so big. So I don't know. They're probably better equipped than we are, to put it that way. But whether they'd make a go of it in that league, I don't know.
So your thoughts, Bobby?
I would say, the league doesn't lie. And ultimately, you can have all the fans in the world, but if you're not being able to perform on the pitch and you're not quite tearing it up now, is this like the 5th year they've been back down since being in the National League?
Yeah.
At some point you've got to kind of maybe accept that this is your current level and work towards trying to get to that level. And at that moment in time, I don't think they are. When I'm looking at someone like Kidderminster, yeah, they are full time as opposed to it. But they're the side I expect to kind of bounce back. But at this moment in time, I just don't quite see it with Chester. So
no. That's good. Well, we'll park it there for the moment. The boys are warming up behind us. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us. Up the Mariners. Josh, congratulations on 150 appearances.
Oh, mate, thank you.
Really appreciate everything you do for the club and all your achievements. I've got something for you here in the Crescendo Way budget bag. We have for you to take home with you tonight. A bottle of Prosecco. And it was high time you adorned a spot on the Crescendo. So in your beloved Man United colours, and you know what's that me.
Nice one, lads. Thanks, lad.
You are very welcome,
Nice
Josh.
one, lad. Brilliant, ain't it?
I'll go and get it hung up for you in just a second. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, lad.
I still need my pint.
No, you get
I'm off.
Matty still owes me a pint now.
Yeah, but can we go out for the nice romantic dinner? Thank you, Josh. That's the Crescendo Way. We'll catch up in the second half. Up the Mariners.
It's the Crescendo Way here. It's Mucky and Adam. We're going to have a little chat over what we've just seen tonight. It finished Marine 2, Chester 1. 11-man Marine beating 10 Manchester. Really, really great game of football in the second half there, certainly with the last half an hour. A lot to be said, a lot to discuss. Mucky, what were your thoughts on the game tonight? What did you see? Who impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously great to get to win the game, weren't it? I think the injuries have caught up with us a little bit. You see a lot of tired legs out there. Then you got to give Chester a lot of credit as well. Down 10 men for a long period. I think 75 minutes, wasn't it? And you have to say it was a pretty even game, wasn't it? But I think it's probably justice for what happened on Saturday, isn't it? It's like you're obviously on the floor after Saturday, after such a great performance, and today, obviously, we get the goal at the end there. As I said, if it was an even game, wasn't it? But listen, what these lads are giving us over the last 7 days, particularly with all the injuries, and McDonald's gone off again today, so it could be another one. As I said, it wasn't our greatest performance, but they found a way to win, and that's all you can ask for. But as I said, what these lads are giving us for the last 7 days, they deserve all the credit in the world because they've done unbelievable.
That's it. It's 7 points from 9. It could so easily been 9 points from 9 with that last kick of the game versus South Shields. The boys, as you say, they really have given everything. They're on the bare bones now. We were talking off camera. Adam Thomas, left back.
No, brilliant.
What a performance.
Brilliant. And as I said just off camera to you, I actually think he's that good on he's been that good at fullback. I think there's maybe a possibility that that could be his position, his own, because he's good in the air. He wins the tackles. He puts crosses in, as you've seen the goal for Potter, and he never lets us down in that position as well. So he's not out of it's not like he's out of his depth and we're just having to play him there because we've got no one. He's given us 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 every week. You know what I mean? So I just think I think there's a conversation there to be saying he's practically undroppable in that position at the moment. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll go in the market and try and get someone in, but for me. I don't think it's a position that we really need to strengthen because I think he gives you everything you need in a fullback there, and as I said, he doesn't let you down at all.
We need to have a chat about the right back position. Lee Whelan playing in that position. I felt like he did struggle. To be fair, I'm not going to criticise him because it's a position I feel that's completely unnatural for him.
Yeah,
He's gone in there and he's given it the best job he could. What were your thoughts on Lee Whelan at right back?
yeah. I mean, he's a centre mid, isn't he? And that's where he plays. That's his best position, and that's where you want him. He probably did struggle a little bit, but again, it's not. It's just he's just filling in there. He's just doing the job what the manager's asking him to do, and you can't criticize him in any way really for that. You know what I mean? As I said, as you say, he probably didn't have his best game, but again, he's just doing a job. So but what I will say, he was game. He kept on his task. Defensively. Didn't really let us down, and I don't know whether the penalty was a penalty. It was hard to tell from where I was from, but yeah, as I said, you can't criticise him for said it's not a position that he's used to. He's just doing the job kind of thing, and in the main, I think he did all right. You know what I mean? But obviously, you want him in midfield, don't you? And like getting on the ball kind of thing, and that's what his game is, isn't it? It's not like having to defend, long balls come, and he's having to jump and win headers and get into tackles and stuff like that. So, there's some fair play. He had the goal of it, you know what I mean? But it is a position that we do need strengthening if obviously James Brown's injured, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Brown will come back and he'll do a great job, as we know he always does. There was a concern as well. Matthew McDonald going down. Looks like it's his hamstring.
Yeah.
Is this a case, you think, maybe of too many games in too short a space, and eventually it's caught up again?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, isn't it? I said it like a few weeks back, when obviously he was coming back, we didn't want to rush him kind of thing, but unfortunately there's that many injuries, then he has to play. But obviously we play Tuesday, Saturday, and I feel like that's probably been part of the reason, isn't it? So it's obviously no one's to blame. We've got that many injuries, and he's had to play, isn't it? Which fair play to him, do you know what I mean? But just hope it's not a, an aided one at where he's going to be out for a couple of months kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's just amount of games, and it's just yeah, unfortunate that's what's happened, isn't it? Really?
The substitutions are the absolute markers for how the game changed. Potter, first of all, coming on, absolutely fabulous goal
Yeah,
to send the MTA into absolute rapture. And then Lewis Bell finds
yeah,
the winner at the death as well. Absolutely brilliantly taken goal. Always felt like Marine were always going to be the ones who won the game if there was going to be another goal.
yeah,
Bell wasn't on my bingo card, I've got to be honest, but he's he's been in the right position. It's come from a Chester mistake.
yeah.
We've capitalised on it, and it's a fabulous strike to put Marine in front. And it's a well-deserved win. We were joking about towards the end the corner on Bobby Jones.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, it's hard to win it now. I've seen this before. I've seen the spoilers here.
Even our Jacob, who's 10, who was with me today, is my son. He was sitting there going, "Oh, not again!" When he seen the goalkeeper going up, I was like, "I can't be taking this twice in 4 days." You know what I mean? But no, it's
I
just
think
one.
on either side of me, just like, oh, no, oh no, I've seen this.
Yeah, but yeah, listen, he defended it well, and he defended it well, didn't he? But obviously, when you have that on Saturday, you just think the worst, don't you? Especially because I always think as well when a keeper goes up, it just causes chaos, doesn't it? Because you've literally got like 11 players in the box, and it's like y- it's difficult, isn't it? Because you think if you lose that first contact, then it's panic stage, isn't it? But listen, they did the job. And as I said, I made up the one today because I felt it was really horrible for them on Saturday because they deserve to win that game, and I do feel like it's chaotic justice really that they've won it late on. Zanzala did brilliant on the goal as well. I know it's a mistake, but drives into the like penalty box. It's a shot. Keeper's make the save, and Bell's done what all good attackers does, and he's followed up with it and got his goal. Pretty much like what he did occasion as well. He scored a 90th minute goal when he came on occasion, and he's got a knack for like getting late goals, hasn't
Zanzala again, he just ran himself into the ground and he held the ball up and he just
he?
worked so hard. And same with Finn as well. Finn was up and down that pitch like no one's business.
Yeah.
In the defender, making sure he was up for up for any
Well,
balls that was getting launched up as well.
Well, I think that's Sanzal's game, isn't it? I think a lot of people like look at him and go, "Oh, he's not scoring goals," but I don't think that he's that kind of striker. I think you look at him, and he just holds the ball up really well, and he's always making the defenders defend, isn't it? Let's be honest, both if he was a 20 goal a man season, he wouldn't be at Marine. He'd be at
No,
he'd be our team probably in the
Chelsea
national.
will never have let him left leave.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's like you just take him for what he is, and what he is like he's game. He works hard. He makes defenders defend, and he gets the players into the game. People like the Potters, your Finns and all them, and I really like him. Do you know what I mean? Like, again today, I thought he was really good. As I said, maybe not in terms of goal scoring opportunities, but he always put himself about, and he's always like trying to he's making defenders, defend, as I said, and if you can jump on them second balls, he's a really good striker to have at the club, I think.
Yeah, we were touching on before as well. I'm giving Chester the credit
Yeah,
for not really allowing the sending off to affect their game, and they they had a lot of the ball, but I don't feel like they ever really threatened Marine. I felt
no,
Marine made the best chances throughout the game
yeah,
and were very worthy of their goals. The sending off, I mean, from my vantage point, right in front of me, it certainly looked like there was definitely contact when the Chester players kicked out and hit McIntyre
well,
in the
yeah. I
face.
mean, I seen it. I think I seen a good view of it. I think McIntyre's pushed them, and then he's kicked them. But like, I don't
Yeah,
know if it was in the face or in the body. It's a red card, just because someone's pushed you doesn't mean you can just kick someone in the
it's very
stomach or the
clearly
face. You know what I mean?
bad
So.
of them.
And I mean, it's stupid, right? I mean, I'd be absolutely fuming if I was a Chester fan or a Chester manager. Do you know what I mean? Because you've you've just like made it 100 times worse for them. As I said, they did well with 10 men, and I think if they would have kept 11 men on, with how tired we was, and the amount of games we've had in it, they would have probably fancied the chances, wouldn't they? So yeah, it was definitely, as I said, definitely red card. You can't moan of it. As I said, goalkeepers, St. Maxi's pushed them, but you can't just kick someone just because someone's pushed you in the box. You know what I mean?
No, it's been interesting as well to see the response from the Chester fans on Chester's X page,
Yeah.
formerly known as Twitter. It's been quite the response, and if I was the manager, I'd probably be avoiding social media because there's. We know Chester fans are passionate, but there's a lot of aggression, and there's even shouts of just fold the club if you're not going to sack him.
I think the problem with McIntyre, I actually think he's a very good manager, good young manager. He's a victim of his own success, isn't he? Nearly
Yeah,
won the league last season. Obviously lost out in the playoffs, and and then they've lost. I think they lost the centre half back to Walsall. So they lost the best centre half. And I think with the fans, I said I don't want to sit there and like tell the fans out their fans how they should feel, but I think obviously they feel like they should still be a football league club, and obviously it reminds me a bit of like when Stockport were in National League North for about 7 years. I think their expectations are too high for the reality of what they are as a fan club, fan-owned club, and I just don't think they have probably the financial power to be the club that they want them to be, if that makes sense. As I said, I don't want to tell them how they should feel, do you know what I mean? But that's just how it comes across, from like, the outside. Like,
yeah. I mean, if I feel like Chester are very much like Marine right now, where they just not they would never be equipped to go up. If they go up,
No.
they will come right back down, and it'd be a very painful season for all involved.
Yeah.
You know,
But fair
we
play. As I said, they bought, what, 350, 400 there. So they
yeah, it's sold out
great
their
support.
allocation. We definitely would have brought more as well than what their allocation was, and
Yeah, yeah.
they
I
were
mean,
in
they're a
good
big
form.
club. They're a big club, and as I said,
Yeah,
I can see why they're frustrated kind of thing, isn't it? But I don't know enough why they've struggled this season. As you said, they had a lot about the ball, but apart from that moment where the penalty, they didn't really create anything, did they? So yeah, I can see the fans' frustration. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm not too bothered because we've won.
that's and some very interesting results elsewhere as well. Peterborough Sports scoring
Yeah,
four to
seen that. Yeah,
pass Macclesfield to win 4-3. Radcliffe smacked that home, losing 1-4.
yeah.
Oof.
Looks like we've started the Radcliffe's wheels coming off, haven't we? Ever since we beat them, I think they got beat what 5-1 on Saturday and 4-1
Yeah,
today, isn't it? So
yeah.
yes, you know what I mean.
Nothing else. I think they conceded. I'm sure it's like conceded 12 in 3 games.
Yeah,
That's a bad return.
it is. Yeah, there's quite surprised really as well. Like, because I thought for 60 minutes that was a pretty even game, so I'm quite surprised they kind of fell off. But I think that's just this league, though, isn't it? It's like it's so competitive. Other than like I think Murphy are going to start to struggle now without that Ricardo Reis. They've had a couple of
I think it's beginning now. Yeah,
yeah. I think it's starting to dawn on them. So I think like you're probably looking at like Kidderminster, South Shields, and Fylde has been the big three. I think Kidderminster will eventually catch Murphy. And then I think from there, it's good. You could go all the way down to 15th and say anyone could get in them playoffs, couldn't they? Everyone's like beating everyone, aren't they, at the moment? Do you know what I mean? And so
I could see Marine finishing top 7 at this rate, though.
yeah, you
If we're
could. Yeah,
if we're putting performances in like what we have done over the last 3 games, with the amount of injuries that we've got, with half a squad and where we're playing 16-year-olds coming on. But I'm going to have to give James Potter credit because he's not like most 16-year-olds. That is a eye for goal that
yeah.
you very rarely see at this level for a player of his age.
No, and he took his goal really well, didn't he, as well? And what I like
Yeah,
about
yeah,
him as well, he's very clever because he gets in little pockets of space. He doesn't stay in one position. He's always on the move, and you know the goal comes because the cross is probably like he was close to going out, to be honest, and he's just being able to. He's got in the back stick and he's got good contact and he's got in the net, and it's just for a 16-year-old, I mean, he's give the manager a bit of a headache, hasn't he? Because I think when he
yeah.
played occasion, it was just like it was a kind of we got no one else kind of thing. But what he's doing, I mean, you sit there and think he's gonna if he keeps doing this, he's gonna have to start, isn't he? He's scoring goals, isn't he? And he doesn't look out. The thing that impresses me the most about him, he doesn't look out of depth at this level.
No, he
You know,
doesn't.
that's the most impressive thing about him. The 16-year-old to come in and just be like, if you'd signed, just say he was a 25-year-old and we just signed him from whoever, and you watched him, you'd sit there when you say, "Oh, he's brilliant, him, isn't it?" But that's what I mean. For a 16-year-old, he just looks like he's played there for years at that level, and it's incredible, isn't it? And, the goal he scores on Saturday, just so calm, send the keep the wrong way, and then today, he's just like, gets his goal and he's calm on the ball as well. He's like when the ball's to him, he's not panicking. He knows what he's going to do, kind of thing, and he's got a bright future. That kid, he really has.
Yeah, that's it. We had a really good conversation us doing Dave Walton, talking about what where he could go, and Dave made it very clear that he feels that for James Potter, his career for the short, at least for the short term, he's better off at Marine where he's going to get that regular time. He's got a manager that trusts him.
Yeah,
Whereas I was of the thought of in the summer he could very well be off to a football league club, but in the mind that if he goes higher up, he'll probably just end up in an academy for the time
but
being.
that's it. He doesn't want to do like with all due respect to Sol. Sol's gone to Sammy and play. He's been the odd time he has played, he's played out of position, and he's never really been given a chance, has he? So yeah, he's only 16. You said for him, he should just concentrate on playing for Marine. He's playing at a great football club that's got a great fan base. Why would you want to move kind of thing? But his development's good here, I think, and he's got the right manager who realises, like, not just from the deep end playing, because I still think he's a great option off, just come off the bench, and he's so bright to bring on. So yeah, I think his development's best that Marine, isn't it? You don't want to rush it kind of thing, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be a problem in the Eagles. It's
Absolutely.
the
And as
goal,
you say,
yeah, the goals he's scoring is like brilliant, and I thought the goal he scored today is brilliant because he has to get a good contact on that, and
it's got to have power behind it as well.
yeah, exactly,
So,
yeah.
which it did. It had absolutely everything. Bobby Jones, as hard as he tried, couldn't keep it out.
Yeah, that's it. But he's just so impressive for a 16-year-old, isn't he? How he conducts himself. He's playing with like big characters in that team, isn't he? And he's just, as I said, he's just. I've liked him ever since the first game. Watched the occasion, and he missed a good chance that game where he hit out the bar. But I was really impressed with him, because to just come into the team and go against like a good team like Asian Ashton, and he was really good. You know what I mean? And I thought, okay, he missed the chance, but I thought if he keeps getting in them areas, he's going to score goals, and he just has a knack of scoring goals, even at that age, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, it was the first hour. Well, it wasn't a great amount of football. I mean, the first 10 minutes of the second half, the ball was only in play for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes, it was just it was stopping, and it was a very frustrating start. But last half an hour, I thought great atmosphere,
Yeah,
great football on display, and as always as well, to have Marina such a great club, as you say, but a player like Potter to thrive in, and also as well, we have a great sponsor, GW Services UK Limited, as always. Thank you very much for sponsoring the Crescendo Way podcast videos. I think we'll wrap it up there.
yeah.
So we're looking ahead now to Tamworth. We'll try and get some more content out. Right, Tamworth, please always like, share, subscribe. I'm not your dad. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but if you would be willing to help us, I'd be ever so grateful. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up there. It was Marine 2, Chester 1. Fantastic crowd, 1,500 plus. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.